Marie Schuren. How do you say that? How do you spell Schuren?
Schuren.
Schuren. She's a PhD student in the second year, and her professor is next to me. Her research is based on the monitoring of ammonia emissions in the agricultural sector. Marie, there you go.
Thank you. Good afternoon. So today I will present you the first development of a gas sensor array for ammonia emission monitoring from grassland. So agriculture is the main source of ammonia emissions in Europe. It represents 93% of the total European emissions, and it's mainly due to soil fertilization and livestock manure storage. So our study focused on ammonia emission caused by nitrogen fertilization of grassland. Our objective is to develop a metal oxide sensor array for real-time ammonia concentration and odor measurement. To validate this measurement, we use dynamic olfactometry for the measurement of odors and acid soaked filters to determine the ammonia concentration. So for the acid soaked filters, we use cellulose filters that we soaked with citric acid, and these filters are placed in a custom-made Teflon sealed chamber, and then we soak the air through this chamber, and so the ammonia is trapped on the filter. We have do several efficiency tests to check if this technique is good for ammonia trapping, and for this we have do some tests in the lab with synthetic air, and we have tested several ammonia concentration and various humidity values. And for this we have used a dilution unit consisting of mass flow controllers. For the odor measurement, we have used dynamic olfactometry according to the European standard. And we have 4 panelists for each measurement, and samples, the odor samples have been stored for maximum 2 hours before the measurement. So for our study, we have developed 2 metal oxide sensor array, and for this for the results I present to you today, we have used the second one on the picture, and this array are built with 4 sensors selected to be sensitive to ammonia, and 2 other ones they are not so sensitive to ammonia, but to other compounds, for example, to COV. This sensor are placed in a hermetic Teflon chamber with controlled temperature, and we monitor inside the chamber the temperature and the humidity, and we soak the air through the chamber. So today I will present you the results of one outdoor experiment. During this experiment, we have spread 100 nitrogen units of cattle slurry in a 50 square meter grassland surface, and we have done this experiment in June of this year, and it was a sunny week where the volatilization was very high. So for the ammonia concentration, for the efficiency test that we have done in the lab, we have seen that this technique have a good trapping capacity for ammonia, and for the outdoor experiments we have measured ammonia concentration before fertilization and have seen a concentration of around 10 ppb, and after the fertilization, during the 2 first hours, we have a high ammonia concentration of around 1 ppm, and then the concentration decreased strongly during the first day, and For the second day, we have a concentration of around 100 ppb, and for the third day, we comes back to the before values around 2010 ppb. And we have observed during the second and third day a peak at around 12 o'clock, which coincides with the sunshine and the temperature increase. So for the odor concentration, for the first odor concentration, the concentration is too low regarding to the ammonia concentration, but after except for this very high ammonia concentration, we can see a trend between odors and ammonia, and so ammonia is not the main contributor for odor, but could be a good indicator for the spreading odor when ammonia is not too high. For the metal oxide sensor array response, here on the graph you can see the electrical resistance variation over the time for each sensor. And we can see that direct after the fertilization, we have a strongly decrease of the resistance of all sensors. And this resistance increased during the day and comes back to the initial value at sunset. During the second day, we can see that in the morning the resistance is decreasing again, but not so strongly than the first day. And for the third day, we can see again a variation of the resistance on the morning, but this variation is similar to the variation of the day before fertilization. So with this metal oxide resistant value, we have to PCA analysis with the raw resistant value. In the first graph, you can see the results of the 6 hours after fertilization, and here we can see that we can observe a time evolution of the signal from left to right. And in the second graph, we can see the results of the day before and the day after fertilization. And here we can again see that the principal component 1 shows the air composition variation, and that the principal component 2 show more the impact of the humidity. So to conclude, for the ammonia concentration, the first day we can see a high increase to 1 ppm during the 2 first hours, and then a fast decrease to a lower level. During the day 2, the values are around 100 ppb, and the third day, the levels is similar to the background. And we have observed a peak at 12 o'clock during the second and third day, which is coinciding with temperature and sunshine. For the odor concentration, the first day we have high concentration with a low increase at 12 o'clock. And the second and third day we have lower levels than day 1, but no evolution between these 2 days. For the metal oxide sensor array, we can see a correlation with the ammonia concentration, but no direct link with the odor concentration, but with the chemical composition. So finally, the acid soaked filters is a good tool for ammonia concentration validation, and the metal oxide sensor array is a promising tool for low-cost ammonia real-time monitoring. So the next step of our research is to repeat this test and make other tests to increase the data set, and so we can develop a quantification algorithm to translate the sensor signal into ammonia concentration and maybe an odor concentration. Thank you for your attention.
thank you so much for your presentation, and may I ask the audience to raise a few questions? I see a question, Bart.
Thank you for your presentation. Very interesting. You mentioned in one of your first slides that you also looked at humidity, relative humidity. Maybe too short of time to present something on that, but can you elaborate on that? What was the effect of that? Have you looked at it? And what?
Yes.
Relative humidity of the air.
I don't.
I'm sorry, I do not listening the question. I was
No, I don't understand.
Could you repeat, please, for Marie?
I think in one of your first slides you mentioned that you also looked at relative humidity of the air, but you didn't mention anything. Did you have anything to share on that, or can you elaborate on the impact of relative humidity? Moisture?
So why do you have an influence of the relative humidity in your results?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, so probably it's due to the adsorption. Ammonia and humidity is not a good family, you know, and so we don't explore too much, but it's probably the main motivation, the main reason. I don't know if it's what you want to know about this, but it is something. Well, no. Is it concerning the PCA or the results, the metal oxide sensor results, or the result of other concentration? What do you mean exactly? Is it concerning the sensor signal? Because it's another story.
Well, your conclusion is this works, but you tested in the field over 3 days. It has clearly an impact on the temperature, which is fair enough, because you have more emission rate.
Yeah, sure.
But on your sensors are very sensitive to
of course, yes.
moisture. So how were this humidity during these 3 days the same? And how would that be if it's a bit more or less? Did you look at it?
No. So it's quite consecutive days, but there are, of course, some fluctuation in humidity value. And as you are right, so they are very sensitive to humidity value. So it is also the challenge, if you want to measure ammonia, is to consider this fluctuation of humidity. But it's what the PCA try to show is that there is indeed a link with humidity, but there is also a link with the composition of the mixture, not only humidity. But yes, of course. And we don't want to prevent this effect. You consider it, you develop the model with this fluctuation, and it is a part of the model, and we try to consider it as a background effect, if you want, and so to develop model by this way. I'm not sure if you understand, but no, if I'm clear, of course you understand. Sorry for that. I'm sure you understand, but if I'm clear in my explanation. But it is a challenge when you are working in the field. It is always the same. You have the humidity effect. You have two solutions. Consider it, try to avoid it by filtering or by, so it is the first approach, but usually we don't use this approach because we would like to keep the chemical mixture like it is, and we prefer to measure humidity and to include this value in the development of our model. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the last question, or is there anybody else who would like to pose? Then thank you very much, Marie, and keep up the good work.